Sorry guys, that was Miss Stevens calling me and it knocked the video off. So we'll pick up right where we left off. We said Fiona had spent 50 minutes working on her homework. But the question asks us, what fraction of time did Fiona spend on her math assignments? So if we look at the problem, we already threw out the 20 minutes because that had to do with science. So she spent 30 minutes on her math. Now, if she spent 30/50ths on her math, we need to look and see, is this in simplest form? Anytime they both end in 0, we can divide both of them by 10. Anytime they end in 0, they're both divisible by 10. So 30 divided by 10 is 3. 50 divided by 10 is 5. So I'm left with 3/5. She spent 3/5 of her time on math assignments. And then I see if that's in simplest form. Is there any number that I can divide 3 and 5 by and get a 0 remainder? No, there's not. The only thing that I could use is a 1, and that would end me up right with the same thing I have now. So she spent 3/5 of her time working on math. Number 2. We're still looking for fractions. Sandy empties 21 cookies into a jar. 12 are vanilla flavored and 9 were chocolate flavored. What fraction of cookies were vanilla flavored? Well, first of all, I'm going to get rid of a number because it gave me several numbers and I know I'm only going to be using 2. So I'm going to throw out the number 9 because that has to do with chocolate flavored cookies, and my question didn't ask me about chocolate flavored cookies. Okay, the whole number of cookies that she emptied into the jar was 21 cookies. And then let's see, it asked me about vanilla. So the part of those that were vanilla, it says that 12 of those were vanilla. Okay, so I know that 12/21, or 12 out of the 21 were vanilla, and then I need to see if it's in simplest form. Is there any number that I can divide 12 and 21 by and get a 0 remainder? Okay, I know that I won't get a remainder if I do 12, but I would get a remainder if I did it on 21. So let's think about 3. 3 goes into 12 4 times. So let me see, will 3 go into 21 with no remainder? 3 won't go into 2, but 3 will go into 21, and it'll go 7 times, and I would have a 0 remainder. So yeah, I can use the number 3. 12 divided by 3 is 4. And we just found out that 21 divided by 3 is 7. So I brought it down. So now I have 4/7 of the cookies were vanilla. Is there any number that I can divide 4 and 7 by and get a 0 remainder? 2 doesn't work. 3 doesn't work, 4 doesn't work, and since that was a 4, there's no lower I can go. So 4/7 of the cookies were vanilla. All right, number 3. Beth cuts a green apple into 6 slices. She ate 5 slices and gave 1 slice to her sister, Eva. What fraction of the apple did Eva receive? Okay, they've given us an extra number in there because we know we're only going to use 2 numbers for a fraction, and they gave us 3 numbers. So let's look at it closely and see what we could throw out. We could throw out the 5 because that's how many slices she ate, and it didn't ask about those slices. So altogether, she had 7 6 whole slices, and she gave 1 to her sister Eva, so the part that she gave to her sister was 1, and so we know she gave her 1/6, and we know it's in simplest form because we've already talked about it. If you have a 1 in your fraction, it's absolutely in simplest form. So she gave 1/6 of the apple to Eva. Okay, again, we're gonna leave the wording up there because we're still working with simplifying fractions, so we're looking for part of the whole. All right, on number 4. Lily was gifted 12 fish of 2 different varieties for her new aquarium. She received 8 goldfish and 4 guppies. What fraction of fish are guppies? So we know we're looking for a fraction, and it gave us several numbers. It said 12, and then it gave us an 8 and a 4. And we know we're only using 2 numbers because we're doing a fraction. So let's see what we can throw out. The question asked me about guppies, and the number 8 goes with goldfish. So I know that I can throw out the number 8 because it didn't ask me about goldfish. All right, so how many whole fish did she get as a gift altogether? She got 12. And then it asked me what fraction were guppies. Well, I know that 4 of those were guppies. The part that was guppies was 4. So she got 4/12. So now we have to make sure it's in simplest form. Is there any number that I can divide 4 and 12 by and get a 0 remainder? Okay, I know they're even numbers, so let's try 2. I know we can probably do 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 12 divided by 2 is 6. So I've got it simplified down one more time. But remember, it doesn't always mean it's in simplest form. So let's look at it again. Is there any number I can divide 2 and 6 by? Okay, I can divide them both by 2 again, can I? So 2 divided by 2 is 1. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So now we know it's in simplest form because we've reached a 1. Again, not always going to have a 1, but when you do reach 1, you know you're in simplest form. All right, number 6. Hal visited the museum with $20 in his pocket. Oh, did I skip one? Yes, I did. Number 5. I'm sorry, let me go back. Number 5, 21 out of 27 invitees made it for a birthday party. 6 invitees could not make it. What fraction of invitees turn up for the party? And invitees just means how many people were invited. So let's see. Gives me a couple of gives me some extra numbers in there, doesn't it? So let's see, what fraction? First of all, let's see what whole. How many whole people did she invite to the party? It says 21 out of the 27. Okay, so she invited 27 people. So the whole number of people invited to the party was 27. And then it says what fraction turned up for the party. So let's look at it. It said 6 couldn't make it, but 21 out of the 27 made it. So 21 is the part of the people that actually made it to the party. So 21/27 came to the party. So now I'm trying to see, is there a number that I can divide both of these by and get a 0 remainder? So let's see, 21 divided by 2, I'd get a remainder on that. Let's see, let's think about 3. Yeah, they're both divisible by 3. Okay, 21 divided by 3 is 7. 27 divided by 3 is 9. So 7/9 of the invitees or the people she invited, came to the party. Let's see if it's in simplest form. Is there any number that I can divide 7 and 9 by and get a 0 remainder? There's not any other numbers, is it? So 7/9 of the people came to the party. Number 6, Hal visited the museum with $20 in his pocket. He spent $8 for an entry ticket and $12 on lunch. What fraction of money did Hal spend on the entry ticket? Again, they've given us some extra numbers. Let's always go ahead and just get rid of those numbers. Okay, it didn't ask me, let's see. It said how much did he spend on the entry, what fraction was on the entry ticket? So the $12 that goes with lunch, that doesn't have anything to do with the problem, does it? So I can go ahead and get rid of that 12. So the whole number of dollars that he had when he got there was $20. And then the question asked me what fraction of the money did Hal spend on the entry ticket? Well, what part did he spend on entry? He spent $8 on entry. So now I try to see if it's in simplest form. I know he spent 8 out of his $20, so I need to know, is there any number I can divide these both by and get a 0 remainder? Let's see. They're both divisible by 2, aren't they? 8 divided by 2 is 4. 20 divided by 2 is 10. So 4/10 is how much he spent, and then we have to look and see, is it in simplest form? Let's see, 4 and 10, they're both still divisible by 2, aren't they? So 4 divided by 2 is 2. 10 divided by 2 is 5. All right, is there any number that I can divide 2 and 5 by and get a 0 remainder? No, there's nothing, is it? Because 2 is the only thing I'd be able to use, and it won't go into 5 evenly. So 2/5 of the money was spent on his entry ticket. Okay, and I'm going to leave the words up there again. Anytime we're simplifying a fraction, we're just looking for a fraction, and we know it's going to be part of a whole. All right, in number 7, Christy buys 7 yards of fabric to stitch up curtains for her home. 3 yards of fabric has prints on it, and 4 yards are plain. What fraction of fabric has prints on it? Okay, it gives me several numbers, so let's look. I know I'm only going to use 2 of the numbers, so let's see what we can throw out. It talks about prints. It tells us, let's see, 4 yards are plain. It didn't ask me anything about the plain ones, did it? So I can go ahead and mark out that 4 yards. That doesn't have anything to do with my problem. All right, so how many whole yards did she have altogether? Well, she bought 7 yards of fabric, and what fraction was on prints or has prints on it? It says 3 yards of fabric has prints on it. Okay, so the part of the fabric that has prints is 3. And then we see, is it in simplest form? Is there anything I can divide both of these numbers by and get a 0 remainder? Divide 3 by 3 and get a 1, but 7 divided by 3, that would give me a remainder, wouldn't it? So there's no number that I can use, so 3/7 is simplest form. 3/7 of the fabric had print on it. All right, guys, we've done 2 pages of these together, so I'm going to leave you to do page 3 on your own, and you will turn that into me. Thanks. Bye-bye.